Today we're talking about how to create a fitness newsletter. James, we've had a few iterations. I like the word iteration over the years. What's the latest one called? Actually, you used to do. What was the last one, and then what's this one called?
We had one called The Brief.
The Brief. That was it. The Brief. And what's the new one called?
Sunday Strategy Sessions is what we're calling it at the moment to help people grow their fitness business. So yeah, because of obviously we've changed our niche to Strength Matters to being more working towards fitness professionals, gym owners, personal trainers, health professionals, health practitioners. So it's all become about the business side of things. So what do we need to do? We have a strategy call. So we then call it the Sunday Strategy Sessions. So that's why we've done it. But I think this is the biggest mistake I see so many health and fitness professionals do is they don't collect client data or potential leads, and they don't nurture them and they don't look after them. The most reliable, practical way of getting traffic to your website or making sales is email marketing. It's been the most predictable for 20 plus years, right? More so than Facebook advertising. It's similar. You send an email, get it opened, they read it, they engage, they buy.
It's also free as opposed to Facebook adverts.
Yeah, it is. So, you've got to, if you haven't got an email list and you haven't done got a regular newsletter going out, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're potentially leaving money on the table and you're not helping your clients as best as you think you can do. Yes, in person, but what about the stuff they can help them outside of things and giving them tips, useful information to think about and ponder and answer questions that they have maybe as well. So I think the newsletter is a really important part of the marketing puzzle in 2024 and beyond. And also it's free and you own and control your own traffic, which is the most important thing.
Okay, so if somebody wants to set up a fitness newsletter, what is step number one?
Step number one is to determine what is the purpose of your newsletter. What job is it solving, right? So our job, and this, the purpose of our newsletter is to give business tips to help our clients get more clients and patients. That's it. That's our number one problem solving aspect of it here now is how do they help them grow their business by getting new clients and patients? So we're trying to give actual insights and tips that will help people do that, right? And then hopefully they'll like, learn and trust us, and they want more help, and they'll come to us for advice in terms of our sales. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. But what job is it solving? So is it to help people lose weight? Is it to help people get stronger? Is it to help people get out of pain? You have to decide what job it's solving, and that's only comes down to you and your business and your niche.
Nice. So obviously, step number one, nail your niche. Step number two, choose your newsletter type and name. As we say, our newsletter is called the Sunday Strategy Sessions. How do people choose a good name? Because it's always like, it's hard to do, isn't it? And you have to get, obviously, what you think sounds good might not sound great to your clients potentially. So you have to get feedback, I suppose.
Just to go back on before they define a name, you've got to define your niche even more. So when I say what job you're solving, when it comes to your niche, you've got to drill down even more. A really good example is this is you could be a bodybuilder, right? So are you going to talk about bodybuilding? Well, everybody's talking about bodybuilding. It's already a crowded market. However, if you're a bodybuilder who's a vegan, you can discuss and share your story as a vegan bodybuilder. So you're going to attract a more specific niche to come into you and solve their problem. What's the name of the guy we follow on YouTube that's a vegan bodybuilder?
Is he vegan? I think I know what you're talking about. His name slips my mind right now, but are you sure he's vegan?
I can't think. I'm sure he's vegan. Anyway, but by the by, but that's the first thing to do is drill down to that niche to like make it even better. And then how do you come up with a specific name? Well, you've got to then, I'd say, use ChatGPT or Gemini. Use the AI tools. That's kind of help. We put some ideas into what we did into there, and it came up with the Sunday Strategy Sessions. That's what came up for us. So it was quite a useful thing. So you got to think of a name that's cool, that stands out, that's useful. But James Clear from Atomic Habits, he uses the 3-2-1 method. So he calls it the 3-2-1 newsletter, which is really massive email newsletter. So you got to find something that's resonant and it matters to your audience and resonates with the audience too.
Were you talking about Ryan Hummerston Is that what you're talking about?
That's the one.
Ryan Hubson. Yeah. he's a funny fella. If you don't follow him, I'd recommend
He's a funny
it.
fella.
He is funny. Okay. No, point 3. Set up your newsletter infrastructure. What does that involve? Newsletter infrastructure.
Well, the infrastructure means you got to decide when you're going to send it. I think let's start with that first. It's like part of the infrastructure is, okay, stick to a timetable and make sure you do it without fail every week. Consistency is the key to this. And doing it time in, time out, week in, week out. Even when you don't want to send it, you have to do it. So for us, we send it out on a Sunday. We send it out on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m. UK time. And ideally, when it fits in the time zones, 10 a.m. everybody else as well. So that's when we send it out. So we try and do it as often and frequently as possible. So that's the first thing. Step by step is to get the infrastructure in terms of when you're going to send it. Now, the next infrastructure section is like, what are you going to use to send it with? Which means you need a mini CRM or email autoresponder sequence. You've got to have somewhere where you're capturing people's data. You're storing that data. You know what the name and email address and what they like is all about. And then you can send that email here. So you've got the classic ones are MailChimp, which everyone uses. We use our own CRM system in terms of Go High Level, and that's what we advocate for all our clients to use as well when they set that up. So you've got to have infrastructure in terms of your time and schedule, and then the systems you're using to collect the data, and then how you're sending it out. So you're going to choose your software to make it all happen.
Andrew, you've had a few newsletters over the years. What's been your experience?
Everything that James says, but then for me, putting into having a format so makes it easy that you can keep that consistency and getting it into play. With nowadays, I look at with the marketing assets we use, the platforms we use like YouTube or the podcast or the blogs, for example, then if you're showcasing those elements within the newsletter, then you're driving additional traffic to your platforms, be it YouTube, be it the podcast or whatever. So those platforms are seeing that you're getting consistent traffic coming through. So that increases the amplification out as well. So having some structure and process of the actual content makes a lot of sense. It makes it easier then to think about, what am I going to write this week? That's what I found to be beneficial for myself and for clients.
So we've got your niche, you've got your name, you've written it, potentially using the help of ChatGPT, but obviously also then putting it in your own voice to make sure that it is you and speaking to your audience, which we've spoken about on previous podcasts. Is there anything else you need to do pre-launch before you send it into the world?
Make sure it works. That's a really important thing. It's so simple. Like you can press send to like whatever you've done and you lose all the content. So test that for yourself. Choose, obviously hopefully you have your business email address. So send it to one of your personal email addresses to make sure it goes through. That is probably the most important thing, is make sure it is working accordingly. Because there's nothing more depressing than seeing your emails not being read or opened. That's just horrendous. So keep that in mind. So I think that's important.
Yeah, most CRMs have that test ability to send it out, because hey, I've made the mistake in the past. I've sent something out and then realized when it comes through live that the links, if you're linking out to your blog post or your YouTube, it's not working. You think, oh,
yeah, absolutely. So test, make sure that it works. What are some, once you've sent your email, your newsletter out and it works, people are opening it, what are some good ways to grow it after that?
So yeah, I think the hardest thing to do is to get your first 1,000 subscribers. That's the hardest thing to do. And that's the goal you should be focusing on. But do it in stages: 100, 250, 500, 750, 1,000. Think of it in terms of that. Those are your goals. So the first thing you got to do is I would create a landing page, right? Which means a page on your website, or like a simple standalone page in any of the website or landing page builders out there, where you can collect your name and email address and stores it in a database. That's the first thing you got to do. Is that people need to go there and they need to understand what it's about. So landing page, clearly define what is it you do. So our Sunday strategy sessions are all about helping health and fitness business owners get new clients and patients, or get more clients and patients, depending which way you look at. That's our purpose. So it's a newsletter to help you get more clients and patients. Can you define your newsletter as succinctly as that? That is the key topic here. So a landing page, all that data, and then you're going to post and send to your friends and family members. How about that? If they're interested in doing this, or friends or acquaintances or colleagues who are into fitness or want to learn more about it, you know about them, send a text message to them. Get your first 10 subscribers first, right? And see if they get your emails. And then you can start doing posts on social media. So to get to your first 100 subscribers, organic methods. Post on your Facebook, post on your Twitter, post on Instagram, wherever you want to do it. Start posting and say, hey, I'm coming up with a new newsletter. It's all about XYZ. I'd love it if you opt in. You'd really be helping me out. So you're appealing to your friends and family first as the starting point. That's the first thing, but somewhere they can put their data in.
Yeah, absolutely. Data capture, all about getting those emails. Absolutely. So could you sum up then briefly, what are the key takeaways from starting your own fitness newsletter?
Key takeaways. If you want to grow your health and fitness business and get more clients and patients, you need a newsletter to engage people. So key takeaways are: choose a name, choose a niche, be ultra specific with that niche, create a landing page that you can collect data and store data, and choose a software platform for you to send this information out.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's good. Andrew, anything you want to add before we wrap up?
No, all good on that. I think that's nice and succinct on that piece. Great episode.
Thank you very much. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you want help getting more clients or patients, then book in for your free 15-minute strategy call with us by going to strengthmatters.com/strategy.